Hey guys, it's been a while since I've put together a video, and at the moment I'm not really sure what to do a video on, so I thought I'd do a quick update on what I've been working on, the models I've been looking at, that kind of thing, and possibly some upcoming bits and bobs. So I seem to have collected projects at the moment. Not really sure how that's going to work out, but we'll see. First up, I've been painting up my Scourge from Drop Zone Commander. This is the 10mm sci-fi game that came out at Salute last year and has sort of taken off ever since. And I went for a sort of fairly simple colour scheme. Essentially it's a white base with a sort of green ink over yellowy green ink over the top of it, black with silver dry brushing, and then some detail on the eyes. I still need, on these ones, I still need to complete the detail on the eyes, or sort of the eye sockety things anyway. So these miniatures are fantastic. They are very, very highly detailed. I don't know if the camera is really picking it up there, but they are absolutely fantastically full of detail, especially the Scourge ones. They're very, very organic looking, but still with some very sort of mechanical feeling bits, so they're quite nice. So I'm slowly finishing off the remainder of my force for them, and these are sort of the last few figures. I've probably got sort of like 20 odd figures to actually do for them. Luckily they're fairly small, so being a 10mm game, it's nice and easy to actually paint these up. So I'm finishing those off at the moment. And beyond that, I've got a few other projects underway, one of which is this figure from Ares Mythologic, and it's their Shawn Yi figure. I'm not entirely sure whether completely building her before painting was actually a good idea, because it's going to make sort of getting around the back and sort of into the imp a little bit fun, but I kind of fancied seeing what the figure looked like. So I've got base coats on her at the moment for the most part, and sort of flesh and things like that, and I've actually been airbrushing most of this on. So all the greens airbrushed, all the skins airbrushed, the red was airbrushed, that kind of thing, mainly just as a sort of trial of a few ideas that I've been having. I've airbrushed on a sort of little bit of lighter red on these as well, on his wings, just to sort of try out a few highlighting ideas that I've found off of various sort of websites and tutorials that I've been seeing online, mainly from the Painting Buddha one. I have actually been watching that, and I will get around to actually doing a proper review once I've finished it. I haven't not quite there yet though, but this is a very nice figure. Now I've got the actual box art here. So this is the box art for the figure. It's an absolutely gorgeous paint job. So yeah, there you go, Ares Mythologic. If you're in the UK, these are available from El Greco Miniatures, and probably several other stores, but I personally picked this one up at El Greco. This was one of the ones I picked up at the Figure World Expo up in Peterborough, and very, very pleased with that miniature. I've also finally got around to building and priming what's her name, Kitty Raymer, from the Scale 75, Studio 75, can't remember, Scale 75 I think. They've recently come out with a Kickstarter worth checking out, but I finally primed her up, and again went over with the airbrush for skin tones and the like. You can see sort of it's just gone all over the place really, but it's all going to get painted over, so no big deal. But what I did try doing was actually airbrushing a sort of very, very thin coat, very, very translucent coat of sort of a dark brownish blackish colour to do stockings. It didn't work out very well, so I ended up basically sort of recovering the miniature, the legs back in skin tone again, and this stuff up here is actually blue tack that I'm using as a sort of masking, essentially, to mask off the top of her legs where it wants to stay as skin tone. But you can see better here, actually I've masked off sort of the top of the stockings and things ready for sort of that. I'm going to give it another go. It kind of worked, but it wasn't exactly what I was looking for, so I think I need to pick different colours to go with, maybe sort of inks and things like that. But so hopefully she'll be getting painted as well at some point. I have also sort of built, not really started, I mean she isn't even primed or anything, the fawn from Origin Art. I love this miniature, absolutely love this miniature, and it's going to be fun painting her because you can do all sorts of different leather tones and things like that for her, and things like, and all that kind of thing. So I think she's going to be great fun to paint. And I've also been sort of getting into larger busts ranges. This is one from Alexandros Models, which appears to be a sort of Greek company. It's a samurai sort of warrior. I've actually got it split into two parts at the moment because with the head the way it is, there's just no way I'm going to be able to sort of get round the back there with a brush decently, so I'm going to split him up, split him into two parts and paint him as is. But this is how he looks once he's together, and he's an absolutely fantastic miniature. Comes in resin and metal parts, huge amounts of detail and plenty of room for sort of freehand work on the chest area and things like that, and a really expressive face, actually really nice expressive face on there. And if I just sort of compare the size, you can see it's absolutely huge. This is actually a 54mm figure, so as you can see, this is absolutely massive in comparison. So it's going to be an interesting little foray. And again, this is the get it in shot. This is the box art. So you can see he's also got a sort of set of arrows on his back, and I just haven't fixed those yet because I'm debating about whether to actually sort of pin them in and sort of add them in afterwards once I've finished painting. But one nice thing is that this bit down here, I kind of looked at the box and just really dismissed it as being just sort of decoration that the artist had added on it, and no, it actually comes with it. Let me just pop it out, there we go. It actually comes with that piece so that you can add it to the sort of the base that you put it on yourself and paint it up and everything like that, which is absolutely fantastic. Really thought that was a really nice touch. So yes, again, this is Alexandros Models. Again, I picked this up at Figure World from, I think it was El Greco. I believe this one was El Greco. But yeah, oh, they're actually in Spain. They're casters. The people they use for the casting are in Greece. So top-notch casting, by the way. Really pleased with it. Very few sort of mould marks and things like that on it at all. Very easy to paint up. So that's some of the projects that I've got at the moment. This one's probably the most advanced, well, other than the Scourge obviously, but I mean they're just sort of quick paint jobs for army painting really. I'm not really fussed about sort of making them look tremendously good. So this is probably the furthest along at the moment. I am planning on doing another painting tutorial. As I said, I was going to do it with, excuse me for a second, I was going to do it with the Troll Hunter from, who's it from? Axe Faction, that's the one. Troll Hunter from Axe Faction, and I do have the sort of the base for and everything like that, so she can sort of fit in. Now what I was going to do with her, the reason I haven't actually started, is I wanted to do a sort of a proper sort of base for her so that she'd sort of fit on the base like this, and we'd have sort of foliage and all that kind of thing. And I started trying to sort of cut out, a friend gave me this block of wood, and I started trying to cut out sort of a section out of the front of it so I can do sort of rocks coming down and add just a bit more interest to the base. And I want to do sort of vines and things. I'm thinking about sort of quite a junglish theme. I mean, a desert theme would fit quite well as well, or sort of rocky outcroppings kind of thing, but I wanted to do a sort of jungly theme with this, so I was thinking sort of vines and things coming down the side of the base. just to sort of add a bit of interest into it. However, I think this is oak or something, and it is absolutely rock solid. I'm going to have to get some serious power tools onto this, but I just don't have the appropriate tools to do it at the moment. You can see I've absolutely chewed it up. I've had to go at it with a Dremel and nearly set fire to it, various bits and pieces, and tried going through it with a saw and all sorts of things, and it's just not working too well. I mean, once I've got this section off, I'm quite happy to just sort of milliput up this bit and actually sort of mould it into some sort of sensible shape. But for the moment, until I can actually work out or find a tool to actually do that, yeah, it's kind of going to stay like this for a while, really. Just a bit of a shame, but this is going to be my next sort of painting videos that I do. Is going to be on this figure, and just as a sort of comparison for a laugh, you can see her next to, and she is next to the other figures. Even funnier is when you put her next to, say, sort of this kind of figure, just hugely massive in difference in size. It's just ridiculous. And then, of course, if we get the samurai's head, it's just insane. Her entire head is sort of only just larger than one of his eyeballs, really. So, very, very silly there. So, yeah, this is what I'm planning next. So she will be a painting video. She's all made up, ready to go. I'll be painting her separately like this, and the base will be like this, and I will make up the stuff on the base. So although this is sitting directly on it, it'll probably actually be sort of a bit further up once I get sort of milliput and things like that into position to actually hold it up. The lines are just a sort of a guide, so that I knew which bits I could cut off the base. Again, it's just to sort of add a bit of interest onto the front of the base, so it's not just sort of a square block with a figure on top of it, really. You know, it's just sort of it's just a bit boring if you do it like that. Whereas if you put it with something sort of shaved off there, and then sort of build rocks out of milliput or something into the side, it actually looks like sort of the side of a cliff or something on those lines, you know, sort of creepers coming down the side and all that kind of thing. So hopefully that'll look quite good. But in the meantime, whilst I'm slowly figuring out exactly what tools to use to cut this wood, other than tools that I don't own, like band saws and sort of all that kind of stuff, in the meantime I have a sort of another review to do. I'm not going to be doing it now, but I'll give you a quick preview of what it's going to be. So if you know what this is, then you're probably smiling to yourself already. If you don't know what this is, you're in for a excellent surprise. It is a 1/6 scale bust of a sci-fi miniature. I'll try and show you. I can't move the camera, unfortunately, but it's a sci-fi sort of character holding a gun. Very, very nice figure. I was extremely lucky to get one of these, and yeah, I will be doing a full review on this shortly. Alright, see you later, guys.